Tipperary versus Westmeath, and first, Offaly versus Waterford.
Waterford had just 4 points to spare when they beat Offaly in their previous championship meeting 4 years ago. Derek McGrath's side were the favourites to win this one as well, and they had the first chance of a goal when Austin Gleeson was denied by James Dempsey. Offaly set up very defensively, and it helped to keep them in the game for much of the first half. After 4 frees from Shane Dooley, James Mulrooney's point was their first from play, and it left the teams level at 5 points each. Eventually Waterford, who were playing a qualifier for the first time since 2014, began to get on top. A monster point from Tadhg de Burka saw them open up a 6-point advantage as Offaly started to struggle. It got better for Waterford in the 33rd minute when they stretched their lead out to 10 points. A direct approach from the Munster side resulted in Shane Bennett shaking off the attentions of Ben Conneely to drill the ball past Dempsey and into the goal. The last score of the opening half came from Waterford's Maurice Shanahan. He fired over the crossbar and they went in at half-time ahead on a scoreline of 118 to 8 points. Hurler of the year, Gleeson shone throughout. After intercepting the ball, the centre-back went on to apply the finish for the 4th of his 6 points as he went on to end as the top scorer from play. Despite being 21 points adrift, Offaly kept plugging away. Peter Geraghty nearly claimed a consolation goal, but Stephen O'Keefe saved. At the other end, Gleeson almost got the goal that his performance deserved, but Dempsey produced the save. Offaly then crashed to their heaviest defeat in the qualifiers as it ended 135 to 14 points in favour of Waterford.
Delighted to get back on the horse. You know, obviously it's a tough 2 weeks after the Cork performance, so to be able to put in the comprehensive performance like we did, you know, so delighted to be have our name in the draw next Monday morning. So that was the purpose of the day. So glad to achieve that.
We need time to get up to the fitness and pace. Like we're lasting for so long with the Galways and Waterfords, and maybe Tipperary, but you know, after coming close to half time in most games, then you know it starts to hit in. But I feel just so sorry for the lads because beatings like that, it's so hard for them to keep taking.
Tipperary welcomed Westmeath to Semple Stadium in a first championship meeting between the sides. No one had given Westmeath any chance, but it was the Lake County that were first on the scoreboard with this long-range effort from Cillian Doyle. Another point from Niall O'Brien saw Westmeath lead by 2 points before the returning Patrick Bonner-Mars stepped up to get Tipperary the first point after 3 minutes. Tipperary, who had not played in 6 weeks, appeared lacklustre with Cillian Doyle on hand once more to punish a poor defensive clear-out to leave the sides level 4 points apiece in the 8th minute. The Premier County, however, moved up a notch, scoring 1-4 without reply in the next 9 minutes. Niall O'Meara, the provider, with a great pass to John Bubbles O'Dwyer, who made no mistake. Many expected Tipperary to push on, but bar a free from Seamus Callanan, Tipperary would not score for 18 minutes. Instead, Westmeath took control with this skillful score from midfielder Robbie Greville, bringing them back to within 3 points. Tipperary appeared lethargic, and it was Ronan Maher who got the last score of the half in additional time, leaving Tipperary in front 110 to 9 points. Westmeath started the second half with plenty of energy, and substitute Cormac Boyle getting on the scoreboard after 8 minutes to leave only a goal between the sides. Bubbles O'Dwyer and Alan Devine traded frees, but then came a turning point in the game in the 19th minute. Dara Mooney on his debut made a terrific save from Cormac Boyle, which saw Tipperary spring into action. Jason Ford and John McGrath entered the fray, with both making an immediate impact. First Ford, then McGrath, with this score to leave Tipperary 114 to 12 points in front. However, it was the injury to Niall O'Meara that caused the most concern and saw him being stretchered off. It was now all Tipperary, with substitutes Stephen O'Brien and John McGrath getting on the end of a 1-2. Tipperary through, but a much improved performance is needed for next weekend. Final score, Tipperary 2-18, Westmeath 15 points.
In terms of performance, not what we wanted, and you know, confirmation that we still have a journey to travel, and you know, it wouldn't do this day week. You know, that kind of a performance from us this day week. In fairness to Westmeath, they came and put it up to us.
Well, there were several aspects of our performance we're really happy with. We competed well, we got some good scores, our fitness levels were good. Little bit disappointed, you know, we had a goal chance with about 7 or 8 minutes to go. If we had got that goal, the teams would have been level. But overall, you know, I thought, I'm so proud of the lads, because people said this was, the handicap was 24 points, and we knew damn well coming down here that we'd give this a good rattle.
A misfiring national anthem caused a brief delay to proceedings at Parnell Park, but once up and running, Laois, playing with the aid of a stiff breeze, were quickly into their stride. And no doubt who the early star of the show was. 4 magnificent long-range points in the opening 7 minutes from their rampaging midfielder Paddy Purcell, as Eamon Kelly's side raced into a 5-2 lead. Dublin, who had shipped 228 in their Leinster loss to Galway, didn't panic though, and they were finding the range themselves. A terrific score from wide on the right from Shane Barrett kept them within striking distance. Laois, playing in their 6th championship game of the year, edged 7-6 in front with its monster effort from Mark Kavanagh, one of 4 points for him in the opening half. The visitors making good use of the wind at their backs. Ger Cunningham had handed first championship starts to 2 players, and it was one of those, Cian O'Sullivan, who marked the occasion with a point. 10 minutes of the first half remaining, Dublin by 1. O'Sullivan again, Tracy from a free, and Ben Quinn stretched the lead to 3. But Laois would grab the final 2 points of the half, with goalkeeper Enda Rowland's outrageous free, sending Eamon Kelly's charges in a point down at the break. Laois's 7 first half wides not aiding their cause. A Mark Kavanagh pointed free opened the second half scoring for Laois, but then Dublin took over. Points from Tracy and O'Sullivan before Eamon Dillon powered home the game's opening goal, and from there was only one team in it. Much had been made of those not lining out for Dublin this season, but Laois had their own issues. Injury and suspension saw Eamon Kelly unable to call on 2 of his leading lights, Stephen Picky-Marr and Ross King, and they had no answer in a second half Dublin utterly dominated. Tracy, who was to end with a personal tally of 9 points, with his superb off-balance but on-target efforts. And Dillon continued to shine. This beautifully taken score, the 3rd of 3 for the St Finbarr's Cabraman in a 7-minute spell. The bench also made an impact. Otzi O'Callaghan, Fergal Whiteley and John Heatherton all contributing to a huge second half Dublin haul. But it was Dillon who caught the eye again, with his and Dublin's 2nd goal of the day, blasting an unstoppable effort to the top corner of Rowland's net. Rowland himself did exact a measure of revenge laid on, but in a second half where Dublin outscored their visitors 216 to 1-4, it was the end of the road for Laois. Final score at Parnell Park, Dublin 228, Laois 115.
We had 5 weeks since our last game, and kind of gave us a chance for for a week or 2 to get over our disappointment with our performance against Galway. We really felt we didn't do ourselves justice in that day, and we were hurt over it, and we needed a bit of time to recover.
You ask any Dublin players, Tipperary, Kilkenny, any of them, they're probably training for 11 months of the year and maybe take a few weeks off, and that's where we need to go to. And I think the guys are committed to doing that, and if they stick with it, they will make progress. These are very, very honest hurlers. I've really enjoyed my time. I have a fantastic backroom team there, and if all of us stay together, these guys will make progress.
Well, a few games to reflect on there. Eddie, you were making the point that you've been very impressed with where Westmeath are going in hurling.
Yeah, I've been on the receiving end of it 2 days. So I know.
You're going to let you mention that yourself.
You're not going to let me forget that. No, in all seriousness, they have made great strides. I think for me, Mick Ryan has been a shrewd appointment when he was, kind of left his own county under kind of a bit of a shadow. He has done a very good job up there. He has a great team surrounding him. I think Mickey Welch from Kilkenny is up there involved, along with the local fellas up there. They have worked on a lot of their physical conditioning, but their hurling is right up there with anything that's around any of the provinces at the moment.
One of them stood out for you.
Yeah, one of them stood out. Tommy Doyle, to be fair to him, probably had the game of games for himself last night. No other than Seamus Callanan, a couple of times nominated for Hurler of the Year. So he just literally, I suppose, like that, too, you just get a number on a fella, you're just in the zone some night. And I think what impressed me with him was he attacked the ball, he got his body over, the simple things well. We often talk, programming fellas and giving them information. I mean, he just done the simple things, the basic things very, very well. Out in front, attack the ball, get the body in the way, and then he laid it off. I mean, there was good, sensible passes out of him as well. But all in all, I think when you look around the field for Westmeath, they have a good blend of 21s over the last 2 or 3 years. Varley, Killian Doyle. And I think also we need to, I suppose, recognise, we hear rumours that Brendan Murtagh has retired, a fellow who has played for 16 years for Westmeath. I could be corrected on that. Has given incredible service to Westmeath hurling, and I suppose you just hope that they can make I think keep progress and keep being competitive, and I think there's no reason why they can't be up there in the shake-up in the Leinster Championship down the line.
Tomas, it was easy wins for Tip, easy win for Dublin, easy win for Waterford. Did they benefit much at all from those victories yesterday?
Well, I expected better from Tipperary, playing in Thurles, a bit of a backlash to say to themselves, look, we're getting seriously back on track here. And you hear from Michael Ryan kind of disappointed with the performance. They've got only a kind of a 6-7 day turnaround at this stage before they go against either of the other teams that are there, right? You know, so. Waterford, on the other hand, I expected them to come back, and you know, we see we're Offaly. It's an awful place for Offaly at the moment, and I mean, we're praising Westmeath and we're looking at Offaly tonight, and the hammerings they're after getting in the last couple of weeks. It's something has to be done overall for to try and get the thing going again back in Offaly. But
we have to draw here. I mean, it's all about tomorrow morning and this draw at 8:30. People know who's in the draw, obviously. Dublin, Tip, Waterford, and Kenny. They'll be drawn against each other. Those